In 334 BC, at just 21 years old, Alexander, the ruler of the small Greek kingdom of Macedonia, launched an invasion of the vast Persian Empire. It seemed like an impossible challenge, but with the power of Greek military tactics and Alexander's fearless leadership, he triumphed in two major battles against the Persians, first at the river Granicus and then at Issus. Having already subdued Persian territories to the west of the Euphrates River, Alexander moved east into the heart of the Persian Empire, determined to confront King Darius III. News reached him that Darius had assembled a massive army at Gaugamela, near modern Mosul in Iraq, and Alexander immediately set his course for battle. This was a final showdown, the last opportunity for Darius to stop Alexander, and a crucial moment for Alexander to end Persian power once and for all. Darius chose to fight on open ground, hoping to leverage his numerical superiority. His troops had worked to clear and flatten the terrain, making it ideal for their war chariots. The Persian army numbered between 50,000 and 80,000 soldiers, drawn from across the empire. This included infantry from Syria and Babylonia, cavalry from Armenia, India, and Central Asia, as well as up to 200 scythed chariots and a few war elephants. Alexander's army, though smaller, was outnumbered by nearly 2-1. Alexander deployed his forces in a familiar formation. On the left flank, Parmenion commanded the Thracian and Thessalian cavalry. In the center, the Macedonian veterans of the phalanx stood with their long sarissas. On the right flank, Alexander led his elite cavalry, the companions, and the hypaspists, his best infantry. Greek hoplites formed a second line, supporting both wings, with the flanks angled to prevent encirclement. The battle began when Alexander led his right wing in a move that caught the Persians off guard. Could he be attempting to encircle their larger force? The Persians mirrored his maneuver, moving troops from the center to counteract his strategy and protect the ground cleared for their chariots. But this was part of Alexander's plan to lure the Persians into weakening their center. Once he saw this, he ordered his cavalry to charge, keeping the Persians pinned in place. A massive cavalry clash erupted on the right wing. Meanwhile, Darius, sensing the critical moment, unleashed his war chariots. However, expert Agriani's javelin throwers targeted the chariot crews, and the Greek infantry opened lanes for the chariots to pass harmlessly. With the Persian right wing distracted, Alexander led his companion cavalry and part of his phalanx in a headlong charge at the Persian center, aiming directly for Darius. The force of Alexander's assault caused chaos among the Persians. The center quickly broke and fled, with Darius himself leading the rout. However, Alexander's left wing faced severe trouble. Parmenion, surrounded by a massive Persian cavalry attack, was in danger of being overwhelmed. Indian and Scythian cavalry even bypassed the Greeks to loot their camp. Parmenion urgently requested aid, and Alexander, abandoning his pursuit of Darius, regrouped and launched a charge at the Persian right wing. This was the bloodiest part of the battle, with Alexander's companions suffering heavy losses, including 60 killed. As word spread that Darius had fled, the rest of the Persian forces turned and scattered. The Battle of Gaugamela ended in a decisive and overwhelming victory for Alexander. Ancient sources suggest he lost only a few hundred men, while the Persians suffered thousands of casualties. With the Persian army defeated, Alexander marched towards Babylon, the empire's main capital, and entered the city in triumph. He was acknowledged by the Persian officials as their new ruler. He also visited Susa, where he ceremonially took the royal throne of Persia. In the Zagros Mountains, however, a brave Persian force managed to delay Alexander's advance for a month at the Persian gates. The Greeks eventually found a mountain path that bypassed the defenders, wiping them out in the process. By early 330 BC, Alexander reached Persepolis, the ceremonial capital of the empire. Though he had hoped to be seen as a liberator, he ordered Persepolis to be pillaged and burned as revenge for the Persian invasion of Greece and the destruction of Athens' temples in 480 BC. Alexander then turned his attention to the royal city of Ecbatana, where Darius had taken refuge. The Persian king, however, fled eastward, hoping to gather a new army. His hopes were dashed when he was betrayed and murdered by Bessus, one of his own governors, who declared himself the new ruler of Persia. Alexander ordered that Darius be buried in the royal tombs at Persepolis alongside his ancestors before focusing on organizing his newly conquered empire. He appointed viceroys to govern the provinces and allowed loyal Persian officials to keep their positions. He also gave Greek soldiers the option to return home. With his empire secured, Alexander resumed his eastward march, determined to find and kill the usurper Bessus, subjugate the eastern provinces, and push further into the unknown.